If you've ever been confused by fat advice, you're not alone. One day it's seed oils are healthy, the next day it's seed oils are toxic. Then it's butter will kill you, and then suddenly butter is back. So here's the real question, especially from a bioenergetic perspective. What do different fats do inside your body at the level of your cells? Because fats aren't just calories, they become part of your cell membranes, your hormone signaling, and potentially a part of your mitochondrial environment. Today we're exploring a core Ray Peat theme, PUFAs versus saturated fats, and how fats may shape cellular energy. Welcome back to Energy First, Ray Peat's Bioenergetic Blueprint. So far we've covered what energy means inside your cells, the thyroid as a metabolic spark plug, and sugar/carbs as fuel. Now we're tackling fats because if you care about bioenergetics, you can't ignore what your cell membranes are made of. Quick note, this is educational, not medical advice. If you have a medical condition or are making major diet changes, work with a clinician. Alright. Let's define terms. What are PUFAs and saturated fats? Fat is an umbrella term, there are different types. Saturated fats have a structure that's more stable, fewer reactive double bonds. Common sources include dairy fat, beef/lamb fat, coconut oil, and cocoa butter. PUFA stands for polyunsaturated fatty acids, meaning they have multiple double bonds. Common sources include many seed oils, nuts and seeds, and fatty fish. So important point, not all PUFAs are the same. PUFA includes omega-6 and omega-3 fats. Ray Peat's biggest concern is usually with high omega-6 PUFA intake, especially lanolinic acid, which is abundant in many industrial seed oils. The bioenergetic lens, fats as membrane builders. Here's the bioenergetic framing. When you eat fats, you're not just eating fuel, you're eating building material. A lot of the fats you consume ends up in your cell membrane, the outer layer of your cells and internal structures like mitochondria. And membranes matter because they affect how well cells hold electrical gradients, how receptors respond to hormones, how easily signals travel, and how mitochondria function in their environment. So the question becomes, what happens when membranes are built from more unstable fats versus more stable fats? This is a big reason why Ray Peat emphasized fat quality, because he believed it influenced the entire metabolic terrain. Why Ray Peat was so skeptical of PUFAs. Ray Peat argued that high PUFA intake, especially omega-6 rich oils, can push the body toward a less resilient metabolic state. Here are the main ideas in plain English. A. PUFAs are more prone to oxidation. Because PUFAs have multiple double bonds, they're generally more susceptible to lipid peroxidation, a chain reaction where fats become damaged under stress conditions. From Peat's view, this can create a more inflammatory, stress-like internal environment. B. PUFA metabolites can act like stress signals. Omega-6 fats can be converted into signaling molecules that influence inflammation and stress responses. Peat emphasized that this can amplify stress chemistry over time. C. PUFAs may interfere with thyroid-driven metabolism. Peat often argued that excess PUFA exposure can reduce metabolic rate and increase reliance on stress hormones, so energy becomes more forced rather than steady. Important note, these are Peat's interpretations and hypotheses. Mainstream nutrition does not always agree with the severity of these effects, especially in typical dietary contexts. But within bioenergetics, this is a central claim. Why saturated fats are different in this framework. In contrast, saturated fats are considered more chemically stable, less prone to oxidative chain reactions. In a Peat-inspired model, saturated fats are often viewed as less likely to create reactive byproducts, more supportive of stable cellular function, potentially less disruptive to thyroid-driven energy production. This doesn't mean eat unlimited saturated fat or avoid PUFAs forever, but it's why many Peat-influenced people replace a chunk of seed oils with saturated fat and notice changes in warmth, satiety, or mood stability. Again, correlation isn't causation, but the bioenergetic rationale is about cellular stability and stress load. The big confusion, but omega-3 is PUFA. At this point, some people say, wait, omega-3 is a PUFA? I thought omega-3 is supposed to be healthy. Yes, omega-3 fats are also polyunsaturated. They have their own effects on inflammation signaling and membranes. Ray Peat's position often leans skeptical of high-dose omega-3s from supplementation, partially because omega-3s are also highly unsaturated and can be prone to oxidation, especially in supplement form. Mainstream nutrition often views omega-3s more positively, especially from fatty fish consumption. So what do we do with this disagreement? A reasonable position is, recognize that PUFA biology is complex, get omega-3s primarily from food instead of megadosing supplements, and still be mindful of excessive omega-6 seed oil intake, especially from ultra-processed foods. The practical reality, most people don't add PUFA as they absorb it. Here's the real world issue. Most people aren't pouring sunflower oil over their salad and thinking, yes, omega-6. They're getting a lot of PUFA passively from restaurant food, chips, crackers, sauces, packaged snacks and healthy bars, fast food, and takeout. So from a practical bioenergetic standpoint, one of the simplest moves isn't obsessing over grams. It's reducing the big hidden sources. So what should you do? I'm not here to give you a rigid diet religion, but here are practical low drama steps consistent with this framework. Step 1. Reduce obvious industrial seed oils. Not perfection, just awareness. Step 2, choose more stable cooking fats. Common options people use: butter or ghee, coconut oil, beef tallow, and olive oil for lower heat applications. Step 3, prioritize whole food fat sources. Instead of oil-less food, think dairy, meat, eggs, fruit, and roots as meals. Real meals. Step number 4, watch your body's signals. Do you feel warmer, more stable energy, better sleep, or heavier and sluggish? Your context matters. Thyroid status, digestion, total calories, stress, and activity all influence how fat choices feel. Step 5, avoid extremes. If you take one thing from this, don't turn nutrition to fear. The goal is metabolic resilience, not obsession. Let's recap. Fats aren't just calories, they become structure and signals. PUFAs, especially omega-6 rich seed oils, are central in Ray Peat's critique because they may increase oxidative stress and push the body towards stress metabolism. Saturated fats are viewed as more stable and potentially more supportive of steady energy in this framework. The practical move for most people is reducing hidden seed oils and ultra-processed foods and focusing on whole food meals. In the next episode, we'll connect fats to stress physiology even more directly. Stress metabolism, adrenaline, cortisol, and the cost of survival mode. If this video helped, like, subscribe, and comment. Have you noticed a difference when you change the types of fats you eat? Thanks for watching, and remember, start with energy.